Hey guys, what's up? It's Dan Weimer here, CEO, co-founder, Morpheus.Network, here with an awesome video for you guys. I'm speaking directly to the community that's watching this right now. First of all, I have to introduce who's here with me today, my co-founder, my buddy, Noam Apple. How are you, sir?
Hey, Dan, doing well, thank you.
Right, fantastic. First, I'd like to say we put out that really cool It Sucks video. I wanted to thank all the companies that reached out and told us how much they loved it. They thought it was hilarious. Reason being is that they know the truth. They live this every single day in their jobs and their real lives as supply chain managers. A lot of this technology kind of sucks. It doesn't connect to each other. All these disconnected points, manual re-entry they have to do all the time. If they want to introduce a new system, even if it's amazing new technology like a IoT provider, or even let's say a data validation system on the back end, if it doesn't integrate with their current systems, you're asking them to do more work. Basically asking them to do worse work at the current technologies they're trying to use right now. That's why what we've done with Morpheus, I know we've spoken to the community about this great technology in the past. Our middleware brings in all this different tech to working together seamlessly. Now we've been refining our technology, refining our UIs, refining all these different dashboards, and we have something that we call our control tower. I want to give you guys a little bit of a sneak preview. We want to show you how we don't suck and how supply chain managers have been asking us how we don't suck compared to what they're currently using. So I'm going to throw it over to the esteemed professor himself, Mr. Noam Apple. And Noam, if you don't mind sharing your screen and maybe giving the community a little bit of a preview of this amazing technology you've been working on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Dan. On my screen, this is the video which Dan referenced. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, go to our YouTube channel and take a look at it. Yeah, what's funny is that every single supply chain manager agrees that a lot of their systems do suck. And so when they see, our platform, see how easy it is to work with Morpheus.Network, see our technology, it's like a breath of fresh air for them. And so I'm excited today to do a quick walkthrough of our new platform, which we're calling Suite.Supply. So when people first come to our platform to log in, we really wanted to hit them with the idea of this being something different. This is a breath of fresh air. So our login page is very, very simple, minimal on purpose. Right now, you can log in using the username and password or one-click using Google. Very shortly, we'll also have one-click sign-ons using LinkedIn and a few other systems. And so this is a look at the login page. And then once you log in, we have what we call a onboarding system, a very easy system where the user can put in their information, their title, their company, domain, and their LinkedIn URL. And then they have the opportunity to invite their colleagues. They can invite as many as they want. I'm going to invite Dan at Morpheus.Network.
Please do.
And then we got some confetti here, and that's it. That's the initial onboarding to the platform. And now let's go to the dashboard. So this is the dashboard of Suite.Supply. Now, every one of our supply chain customers have very different needs. So each customer will not see all these features and capabilities. Each deployment, we customize the features and the capabilities that they are interested in. For this demo, we're going to show you the kitchen sink, so to speak. We're going to show you a bit of everything. So, here's the dashboard. Everything you see here is highly, highly customizable, not just the features, but the metrics, the layout, the fields, the map, everything you see is highly customizable. On the dashboard, the idea is that we give them a very quick look at their current supply chain shipments and processes. This gives supply chain managers exceptional visibility into what's actually going on with their supply chain. And Dan, I see you have your hand up. Dan, feel free to interrupt.
Yeah, of course. Of course, yeah. I didn't want to interrupt actually, but this dashboard overview, I absolutely love this screen. As simple as it looks, it's just showing you this simple data in front of you, right at your fingertips. Think of how many different systems this is tapping into to pull this data in, from IoT systems to TMS systems, right down to the physical assets, the trucks themselves, having information from the drivers being provided as well, right connected to their inventory systems as well and their vendors. So this is really an amazing, simplified view of a lot of complex data being integrated together. So I absolutely love this dashboard. And I just wanted to, basically tell that I think you guys did an amazing job styling it up as well.
Great, amazing. Thank you for that, Dan. And then, so with the current configuration of the dashboard, we have some metrics at the top. We have information about the latest shipments. This will show if there's any delays or any issues with which that supply chain manager needs to immediately address. And then we've also added some recent alerts, as well as some upcoming maintenance required on vehicles. So let's go to the next section, asset tracking. So our platform, we integrate with a wide range of IoT devices. We can attach IoT devices on ships or trucks, or even on individual pallets or packages. And these IoT devices are amazing because they track temperature, geolocation, humidity, light, and a range of other things. And so on this screen, we can see some of the IoT devices in use. This is all sample data for this video. But again, it gives supply chain managers great visibility into their shipments.
And, to be honest, when it comes to finding the right IoT for the client, for the user, there's such variety in IoT devices. If you have like these trucks that take these telematics devices, like what GeoTab provides, then it's built right onto your truck right away and it gives them all the information. Right? If you have, so just pallets you're shipping out and you need a device that's on a battery that runs on its own independently and sending you all the data, we provide that as well. So, we've built out a great partner system of IoT providers, whether it's Hanha, Telefonica, GeoTab, as I mentioned as well, and a bunch of other ones as well. So if you are looking for IoT devices, you could go to one provider. Why would you? When you go to a company like Morpheus, it has 12 different partners to find the right device for you as well.
Thank you, Dan. The next section is speed. And Dan, I'd love for you to talk about speed, what it is, and what it can do.
Most definitely. Speed is one of the solutions obviously built onto this Suite platform. It's actually the first solution that's going to be pushed out as well. What Speed does for our clients, it's a very lightweight, easy to use system to create geolocating BOLs, bills of lading, to ship off your goods, be able to track your goods all the way down the supply chain. And this is actually done with one click. Once you have the information in the system, who your vendors are, you're shipping to, or who you're receiving from, you actually have these BOLs sent off to your receivers. They know exactly what's showing up at their doorstep. You actually get live data to yourself as well. We actually integrate it with other solutions, as you can see in the Suite platform. So there's a whole step-by-step process. If you can go down actually to the live map as well, that first live map, be able to track your goods in real time this way. You have a fleet of trucks out there, and with one click, you actually have all that live data fed back to this platform. You actually have the data from what's on those trucks to create the shipping documents, as I mentioned, create your customs documentation as required as well. We can pull that right into the compliance documents needed for example, food certificates to sell the foods on the shelves, what's on the truck, when they're on the truck, where they are at the time, and when they're delivering, and all that data connected together from your vendors, distribution facilities, all the way down to the retail end as well. So show them the different views you can show them as well on the map here. I love the different UI they can show them too, if you can.
Yeah, so we have two maps on the system right now. We are actively building it. This is our current map at the moment. You can zoom in, it's great. Live map, this is the current map. This is a new one we're actively developing. So not all the buttons are active, but I love the full screen here that you can really zoom in. And I picture many supply chain managers having this on a large screen in their office.
And one thing you can imagine with this live data fed to this map, we're not talking about one device that sends information back and forth. We're talking potentially 10 different systems, QR code scans, IoT devices, information from the actual ocean container lines as well, being fed onto this map. So you have these updates coming into your system the entire time, integrating all these tracking systems into this one live map that you have. And it's the integrations that we've developed, hundreds of integrations that we have into the platform that can pull all this data together, and the different solutions. They're actually on the back end of what we do with our middleware with this control tower. Solutions like IoT providers, solutions like Trust.Supply, validating data on the back end of all these different transactions as well. Having trusted data in the supply chain, you can deal with a company that's on the other side of the planet, and you can actually look into their history in the past work that they've done with Trust.Supply, and also validate your data going forward. Knowing you have a trusted company to work with, and that the data they're providing and the data you're providing them is trusted based on using that platform, based on using that solution itself. So yeah, of course, we have our validators on the back end. Huge thank you to the validators, of course. And once again, just another solution in our tool belt, IoT devices, trusted data on blockchain, all connecting all the way down the chain from the raw materials all the way down to the final end, and even beyond use itself when it comes to maintenance and so on.
Excellent, amazing. And of course, if there's any issues with any shipment, our platform can alert you multiple ways. It can send an email, of course. It can send a pop-up window directly on the platform, or even depending on the severity, we can send text messages. So a supply chain manager can be, walking in the park or in his or her car and get a text message and immediately know there's something that requires some immediate attention.
I thought you were going to go right to those partners that we have on the insurance side as well, that if it's very severe, it'll actually process your insurance, get that insurance going as well, so you can get some money back on that. So shout out to, of course, Marsh and Loadsure and all our insurance partners.
Absolutely. I'll also share another feature that's in active development. We're calling it Flow. And it's an active development. It's a bit messy, but one of our clients wanted to be able to track the movement of goods from basically farm to warehouse to distribution centers to retail stores. And so we're building this flow feature so that you can actually see the flow of goods. One thing that is powerful about this feature is that if there's an issue with, say, a specific warehouse or a specific retail, you can quickly see which products go that route and then plan alternative routes for those shipments. So it's a bit raw at the moment, but I think it's going to be a very useful and powerful feature.
Agreed.
Dan, would you like to talk about the retail section and how we integrate with purchase orders?
Yeah, most definitely. That is one of the biggest headaches, for all companies that have this gigantic retail end, is integrating not only their vendors getting the supply, but then on the actual consumer end, be able to keep up with the shelves, making sure the inventory is up to date. And retails themselves, they all have different systems that they're sort of developed with it, a lot of times in-house, especially for a company like FCL that works a lot of different co-ops. They're all independent outfits that decide how they want to do their orders. You have to be able to integrate with all these different systems. And in certain cases, if they still want to use a fax machine or letter mail, snail mail, you have to get them, into the future or into the present, I guess you can say, integrating these simple to use systems on the retail end. So we built this entire retail hub, really amazing, where the retails can go on. They can see exactly what we can automate this whole process once they're on the hub as well. But at first, they can see exactly what's available from all their vendors. They can actually use local procurement to actually reduce their carbon emissions as well as they're making their orders and making sure that the food's on the shelf. And we actually saw a lot of headaches with this during COVID as well, where people, at certain times would go into the grocery store and think they will never be able to buy peanut butter again because of the supply chains breaking with COVID, and they bought all the peanut butter off the shelf. And then suddenly they had to replenish all the peanut butter. They think, oh, we're going to sell so much peanut butter now because we're selling out peanut butter. No, that was like a one-time event, and it threw off the entire supply chain. All inventories were thrown off. This would be basically resilient proof. It gives you a lot of resilience in your supply chain for events like COVID, events where supply chains might be broken. We'll have different vendors you can connect to make sure that your order hub and your ordering system is still in play. Even if your major suppliers are shut down, you'll still have other inventories you can pull from as well. So absolutely amazing system that really simplifies a lot of the retail end and actually takes a lot of the headache off of our main client. Let's say FCL in that case. They don't have these retails all reaching out saying, Martha needs more eggs. You go into the retail hub and everything's built in for them. So really simplifies their life. And this was an amazing solution that we've implemented.
Amazing. Thank you, Dan.
Welcome.
I'll talk about the next section, analytics. So everything in our platform, we want supply chain managers to be able to generate quick reports, charts, graphs, reports, so that they know exactly what's going on. This is one area where we use AI. One of our clients was talking about how typically every week on a Friday, they need to generate a report like this and provide that to their managers, so the managers know what is going on with the supply chain. And instead, what we do is not only do we have like various charts and graphs, but using AI, we summarize that. So here you can see it says, today we sent out 24 shipments from our main distribution center. It will talk about any delays, any issues with temperature, et cetera. And so when we showed the supply chain managers, like they said, this used to take me half a day every single Friday, and now it's done automatically. This report can also be sent to a manager at company.com. One click, they have that in their inbox, or we can set it up so that every day or every month they get that report. So this is a small feature, but again, very, very powerful. And then we have all sorts of charts and graphs as well, and metrics at the top here as well. Vendors. So with FCL, we do a tremendous amount of vendor management. And so we've taken kind of our experience and expertise in that area and brought all of it over to Suite.Supply. With currently through our work with FCL, like we have hundreds and hundreds of clients that log on to the platform. These are vendors that log on to manage their information, their documents, their SKUs, their product SKUs. And so thankfully, we can move all of that over to Suite.Supply. Dan, anything to add regarding vendors? Anything that I missed?
You know what? One thing that I would, like to stress. You mentioned our work with FCL and a heavy emphasis on vendor management. The fact that we are able, in a month and a half, to move hundreds and hundreds of vendors onto the system and then basically automate the entire certificate process, I think that's absolutely amazing. And this is, Noam is being very modest. This is an award-winning platform, this vendor management platform, to onboard them and get them certified. We won that PTAC prize for supply chain excellence along with FCL for that specific platform. And we're excited to, have that vendor management and put it out there, scale it up for other companies as well.
Thank you, Dan. Next section is documents. So documents, like this is like a repo where you can store and manage your documents. If you have vendors logging in, you can see all their documents as well. As an admin, you can upload a document and select who you want to share it with. And, I got to say, for me, when supply chain managers say, like, we need a way to manage documents, for me, I always think it's the simplest thing in the world. Like, don't you have a Dropbox or a Google Drive, something simple? I'm always amazed at how, I guess, disorganized is the word so many of these companies are. And so when we show just like a clean interface like this, and, so clean and so easy to do things like store documents, share documents, track documents, even something as simple as that, they are amazed. And so document management was a popular request, and I think it looks great.
I think that you're assuming that everyone's organized with their documentation, but to be able to connect the documents to the individual shipments, but trace it back to the vendors, who submitted it, and put that all together. It's not just a repo, it's not just a Dropbox, right? It actually connects to all your supply chain stuff as well. So it keeps you unbelievably organized and automatically as well. So I think it's quite powerful.
Absolutely, yeah, and supply chain specifically, like every shipment requires so many documents and certificates and compliance reports. It's kind of a mess. So having everything centralized is great. Very closely related to documents is certificates. Similar idea, but a very important and central part of supply chain management. Contact management is an integrated kind of database or table of all the contacts of a company, all their partners, suppliers, and customers. Very easy to manage and sort and search.
I hope Noam sanitized this data. I hope he did.
Yeah, this is all demo.
I had to read it quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Products. So of course, in supply chain, you ship products, you ship goods. So we have quite an extensive product management feature where you can manage products, manage SKUs, update it. If vendors are logging into the platform, they can see all their information. Everything is versioned, meaning that if they update products for 2025, they can go back and see 2024, 2023's version and kind of see all the changes. So a great feature as well.
And it's so integrated with the rest of this control tower. If you think about those certificates for food, it connects back to these products from the supplier side, right? If you think about it from that vendor management system, these products are what those vendors see as well. When when the retailers are ordering in the retail hub, what products do they see? This is what it connects to as well. So all this stuff is integrated all the way up and down the supply chain, whether it's the physical products, whether it's the certificates behind it, whether it's how they were shipped in, where they're coming from, local procurement, all that connects into this product management, vendor management, retail hub all together.
Absolutely. Dan, do you want to quickly talk about HS codes, what it is, and how the platform uses AI to quickly add in HS codes and what people typically do when they're trying to find HS codes?
Yeah, there's this massive book. It's a harmonized codes book that every country, in a sense, they keep it pretty consistent, but there are varieties even between Canada and the US. But these harmonized codes basically dictate if there's going to be duty on the product, what type of product you're shipping. Duty basically is an import tax on the product itself. People like to use the word tariffs nowadays as well. So if there's a big duty on the product, that's the tariff. And basically you have to classify all your products based on the proper harmonized codes. If there's a gas burning motor versus if you're shipping food product versus if you're shipping baby food, all that has a different code that has to be specific and accurate. And if it's not, you'll face fines. Your shipment will be turned away at the border, no matter where you're going. It might even be confiscated, and you'd be fined on top. So it can be very bad if you don't have your proper harmonized codes, especially for a very high value shipment. Nowadays, people look up their products manually. They do have PDFs of these documents, so you do a lot of Control Fs and look up numbers and try to describe your product and see something that's close enough. But why do we do that when we have the power of AI? So we have completely integrated into our platform a backend AI system. You actually describe your product in normal language and actually spits back to you the proper harmonized codes. There's different varieties of codes all the way down. Like if you say I'm shipping shirts, it would probably ask you things like, is it a cotton shirt, is it polyester? What the harmonized code refers back to what those different materials are in the shirt example. So the AI system would ask you these questions back. And then you would be able to get the proper harmonized code to make sure you avoid any sort of fines, delays, anything like that with your shipments as well. So really amazing solution. And again, another great use of AI in the supply chain that we have all the way up and down our products.
Thank you, Dan. Inventory is a new feature that we are currently building out, but for a lot of companies, they need to manage their inventory. And so what this does is it helps you manage it. And it's another area of our platform that uses these proactive alerts so that if a certain product is low, it will immediately alert you so you know to order more of those products. In this interface, we can see some example items here. And for example, we can see this item, organic coffee beans with this SKU, is currently out of stock. So this is a very easy way to monitor inventory.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah. Maintenance. So this also came in as a request from a client. Many companies, not all, but many companies operate their own fleet of trucks. And so with this maintenance, it allows them to more easily schedule any kind of work that needs to be done. Here we have a nice calendar as well. And of course, we have those same kind of notification system.
Absolutely love this, maintenance tracker. I know you're speaking about fleets, trucks, because they take a lot of maintenance as well. But think about like an industrial shop with different machines that have to be maintained, sometimes on a daily basis, to make sure they're exactly accurate and precise. Having this calendar built in to make sure that everyone is responsible and gets all the tasks that need to be done. This is amazing. It really is.
Yeah, amazing. And I'll also mention for this Suite.Supply product, when people sign up, we fully expect that they may only be interested in one or maybe two features here. We know and we hope that a client may sign up only interested in the maintenance calendar. That could solve a specific pain point. But once they're on the platform, once they're getting value from that maintenance calendar, then it allows us to kind of upsell some of our amazing other features. We can say, we're glad we helped to solve your maintenance headaches. By the way, have you seen our document management system? Have you seen our inventory management system? So that's kind of the sales strategy in a sense. Get them in the door utilizing one feature, and then it's very easy to expand the relationship that way. Dan, would you like to talk about drivers?
Yeah, also, obviously very essential from a compliance standpoint. You can't have drivers that don't have the proper licensing, of course. You'll be able to take heavy loads, connecting to the actual truckloads themselves. You think about it up and down the supply chain, whether it's from the suppliers to the distribution centers, to the retail end. You have trucks in between. You got to know what's going on with these trucks at all times. You got to trust your drivers as well. I know this when if I take an Uber, I like to see how many trips this driver's taken before, right? I like to see his history, what his rating is, right? And if he has a very bad rating, I probably don't want to use this Uber. Same thing goes with these truckers. They are responsible, and you could track this all just by allowing them to track their loads. All they do is deliver, scan they've delivered. The information comes right back into the system. And also, if you need to reach out to them in a pinch, an emergency situation, we have it directly connected to the platform as well. Full communication, and connecting it to the different shipments as well. So you can actually call the driver some intelligence and say, hey, John Smith, this PO that you're carrying with this product, you're delivering it to the wrong location. They want it at their other center. You're going the wrong way because you have that data right in front of you. So John, 1 star.
Mm-hmm. And then compliance. So in supply chain, like compliance and managing and dealing with regulations is a huge headache. And one thing that Dan's been talking a lot about lately is EUDR, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But compliance, even impacts drivers. You have to ensure that drivers have gone through the proper training, that they've uploaded and provided the right kind of certifications, driver's license, and so forth. And so this is another kind of feature of our platform. And then kind of related to that, or related to regulations, is the EUDR. That's a big topic, but we're doing a lot of work there with one of our partners, Confidius. Dan, would you like to kind of say a summary of EUDR and why it's important?
Yeah, of course. It's only important if you want to do business in Europe, which a lot of companies want to do. This European Union deforestation regulation, they're basically trying to guarantee that you can't sell product in Europe if it's been a part of deforestation. It's a really great initiative. Obviously, in today's world, some people cut down forests for products, and we just can't have that. So this regulation coming in is going to clean up the supply chain, make sure that you're actually getting your products from deforesting experiencing companies. Really great solution. We make it very simple to get a due diligence statement together. There's a bunch of information that has to be pulled together, but once you have it, you're free to sell your product in Europe without issues whatsoever. And once again, it is a little bit of a process if you're doing it all by yourself, just trying to submit the documents to the European Commission. We actually built the solution along with the EU Commission, part of their sandbox, make sure we're hitting all the proper regulations. And then again, making it so simple for any company to log in, integrate all their data. Again, if you're already as a part of Suite.Supply and you're using speed, or if you're using some sort of vendor management, we actually take that data and port it into the EDR system. So you actually have to input less data than if you're starting from scratch. Really try to keep it as simple as possible. We can even integrate our EDR solution to your current ERP system, whatever system you're currently using. We can pull that data into our solution as well and automate that process right from the current solutions you currently have. So very excited about that. As much as I'm excited about deforestation-free products, I'm even more excited to make it easy for companies to be compliant with the UDR. And that's what we're all about.
Mm-hmm. And at some point soon, we should do a full walkthrough of the EUDR solution, starting from step one, logging in, filling out the forms. So yeah, we should do that soon. That's a whole other big topic there.
And Noam is actually, revealing a little bit that we actually do have some webinars planned. I'm sure a lot of the community that are watching this are also going to attend our webinars and actually us explain to companies how to be compliant with EUDR by using our solution.
Absolutely. So the next section is agents. So one of the reasons why we wanted to create this new platform was to more deeply integrate and leverage AI. As you guys probably all know, like the last 6-12 months, we've seen an explosion of AI software and tools. And so we leverage AI in a few different areas of the platform. One is voice, I'll say, or Gen AI, and I wish I had a good demo on this demo platform here. But we've actually integrated at the top of our vendor table a interface where you can chat or use your voice to find out information about your vendors. So currently, if you want to find, the address of Peachy Keen Foods, if you want to find a phone number or an address, you'd have to come here, maybe search, maybe click, find their phone number, and then give them a call. Instead, you can now come here just by using typing or your voice. You can say, what's the address and phone number of vendor 555 or Peachy Keen Foods? And that's an amazing use of AI. Another example of AI is Dan mentioned HS codes. So as people input data, we can augment that data using AI. In the HS code example, we can automatically pull in the correct HS code, saving people a lot of time that, as opposed to like searching that long PDF and trying to find the right number. Another area we use AI is AI agents. So AI agents, I can talk about that for a while. But basically, instead of like other software creates kind of a workflow where if this happens, do that. If a temperature is above 20 degrees, do this. But it's very strict. It's very rigid. Instead of that kind of strict, rigid workflow, you can actually have AI agents that have a bit more independence and flexibility. They're more agentic, and you can give them access to certain systems, maybe some backend systems, give them power to make certain decisions, and they kind of act as independent employees. Because AI agents are very new, we recommend having human oversight. But as you use them and refine them, they get smarter and smarter, and then you can start to give them more power. So here's a look at one of our AI agents. This is for managing inventory. You can see how often it runs. You can view performance and success rates. Configuration, a lot of these are configured through prompt. Tools, you can give them access to certain systems. Webhooks, that allows an agent to notify other systems like Microsoft Teams or even Slack to send messages. Logs, schedule it, have it run automatically. Versions, if it can track versions, so you can try a new version. If it doesn't work so well, you can go back to a previous version. And then analytics. So that's a lot of kind of information very quickly. But that's a look at our agents. Oh, and in terms of models, we integrate with OpenAI primarily. That seems to be the best. But we also have integrations with Claude and a number of other LLMs so that we can test out and try different systems. That's the AI agents. Chat. So this is another feature that we're building, but we want this platform to integrate with WhatsApp or Microsoft Teams or Slack, whatever you're using. And so if you want to communicate with a driver or a vendor or any of your contacts, you can actually do that directly through the platform. Notifications. So we want to build a very robust notification system. So for any action, basically any event, you can have it notify the right people, whether it's Marsh Insurance, for example, or a customer, supplier, partner. And then I mentioned you can send emails or text messages or pop-up alerts. So we're building out this section currently. Dan, feel free to interrupt. Monitor. So in supply chain, typically a supply chain manager has to deal with, dozens of different systems, warehouse management systems, ERP, databases. And so we've created a nice one screen where you can manage all of your systems and monitor all your systems. And this is important because often what happens is that a system may go offline at 10 in the morning, and someone doesn't realize until 2 p.m. They realize that none of their orders have been processed for the last, few hours, or one of their partner systems is offline. And so instead, we brought that monitoring right into Suite.Supply, and they'll get an immediate alert the second any system is offline.
What's really cool about that is, obviously systems that they have in place could be critical, especially in manufacturing when you have robotics, conveyors. If something goes down, you have to know this right away. You have to be able to fix that sort of connection too. So whether it's an RS-232 old plug-in hub, whatever the port is, whatever the connection is, we'll pull that into our platform wherever the data is required. We can feed it new data as well. And just knowing your systems are down, in certain companies, you're down for 24 hours. That could be the end of your company. So very, very critical stuff. So this is very important.
Good. Next section is export. So every single bit of data in the platform can be exported to generate a report or export it as a CSV if you wanted to do some work in Excel, for example. You can create, custom reports, custom formats, date ranges. It's a really great, powerful feature as well. Users is to manage all of the users of the platform who can log in, resetting passwords, etc. Support. So we also have a built-in ticketing system. So if a driver or a vendor has any kind of issue, instead of phoning a company or emailing them, which can get kind of messy, they can actually create a quick ticket. And then for an admin that logs in, they'll see all the tickets, and it's much easier to manage using one interface.
And just food for thought when it comes to this ticketing system. We know there's a massive ticketing system providers out there already that companies are using. We integrate with all those systems as well. So this could be another sort of view within the same interface, in the control tower. You're still using that same ticketing system you currently have.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. If a company has an existing system, whether it's a support ticketing system or something else, we want to leverage that. And so in this example for a support portal, if they're using Zendesk or ServiceNow or any of those vendors, we use our API connections to integrate directly into that system. And then settings. Settings has some neat little features in here. Here is where you would update your contact information. You can add a nice profile photo. Security is where you set your password, enable two-factor authentication. Here you can see your active sessions. Platform, you can change the name at the top. You can change the branding if you want. We also have a Suite dark mode. I'm not a big dark mode fan.
Really?
Yeah, I think Dan, by default, your system's dark.
No, it goes back and forth, but yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm kind of a light guy, but anyways, we have that built in. Looks great. APIs. So if you're integrating this with other systems, typically you need to manage things like API keys. So we have a great interface to manage all of that. Webhooks are very important. When any event completes, like a shipment completes, for example, a webhook can notify another system. So Slack, Microsoft Teams, to send a message to say shipment 752 has completed, or shipment 157 there's an issue with the geolocation, for example. So webhooks are very important. And then some more integration settings down below. And then system, this is where you can configure things like your, regional settings or your, units of measurement, and enable some other features. Backups are very important. We have extensive, multiple, redundant, off-site backups, and you can configure them to happen weekly or daily as well. And those can be backed up to AWS S3 or other systems as well. So that's kind of a rapid, rushed look at the platform. Dan, I'd love for you to talk about Trust.Supply and how this is related to Trust.Supply.
Yeah, most definitely. I know you guys can imagine how many different integrations, even one company's sort of end-to-end solution, whether it's IoT, whether it's their ERP system, their TMS, whether it's their customs processing system, whatever it is, all these different systems connected together. Somehow you have to be able to trust the data all the way up and down. There's so many different, interactors within the supply chain all around the world, whether it's people from, dealing with a new company from China, whether something's being shipped off or not, whether you have that IoT device there, you probably don't at first. How can you trust that data up and down the supply chain? Having something on the back end where we can take any sort of system that's out there that's trying to push data out there and make sure that data is recorded on chain, immutable, and trusted. That's what we have in place right now with Trust.Supply. What's amazing about that is that we can just work on these solutions, all these different integrations, work with our clients, work on building out these solutions as well. And we can just feel good that we know that we're creating this whole trusted data back end that's already built into the system. Thanks to our validators, thanks to the masternode holders themselves to allow that to happen. Really an amazing solution. And in the history of global trade, trust in global trade has always been an issue. I barely trust the people 2 blocks down, let alone someone countries and countries away from me. So I need a solution like this to build trust into the supply chain. This is literally your livelihood. You're running your business here. You think about this as a business owner as well, not just, let's say someone who's a forklift driver. You want to trust that you're, handling the right proper goods because you're one of those important responsible parties up and down the supply chain. Yeah, that's important. But as a business owner yourself, you want to know that you can trust who you're working with, where your products are coming from, so you can pay your employees. You can pay for, for your kids' schooling, whatever it is, so super important. And that's what Trust.Supply offers us, is this trusted back end. Really amazing. And in this demo, Noam, going through all these different integrations in this control tower, I think it's a great way that any company can say why their supply chain system currently sucks and how we've applied a solution to that to make it not suck. Really amazing how we can pull in the data from all these different systems, connecting it all together, taking data silos from all around the world, different IT systems, different companies, breaking them all down and making the data dynamic and working together, creating a ton of efficiency, a ton of automation through this sort of platform. So very excited about this demo. I've seen all this stuff before, and every time we go through this, I get more excited. So Noam, thank you for the demo, and thank you to the community for watching. And of course, as always, if you have any questions for myself, for Noam, you can always email us directly. You can reach out into Discord as well. Reach out to Robsy. Robsy can get in touch with us as well, very easily as well. So everybody, thank you so much for watching, and as usual, have a great day.